last week, no demos, we talked about harvest. I looked at the discussions on the harvest organization site. Seems to be going good. Today we have demos. But Mike is not showing today, and we have topics. Let's see later. Status. Yep.
Hi, my name is George. I'm the first time here, and I was asked to demo my new feature about permissions for media files.
Okay. We'll see that after status then.
Very short files. Yeah.
Permissions. Okay. But your name is super familiar, which means you are a huge contributor in your thing. So even if it's your first demo, we know your name. So we know you.
Thanks.
So status. I was doing some things because it's all broken. So what do we have here? The 2nd of April. This one, save byte array allocations. Yes, so last week, Mike and I did a bunch of perf work. So this one, save byte array allocations, what is it about? Thing here. Oh, this one maybe here. What is that? Byte array data. What is output? Try to get preferred. String builder? No, it can't be a string builder. Memory stream? Maybe memory stream. I don't know. What is this one about? What is output? Output is a memory stream. Okay, try get prefer array instead of calling to array. Okay. I don't know why. This one, yeah, like I should only to save some allocations and byte array. So like here, every time you create a new array to get the bytes of this thing, and then you can actually make it a static one. Same thing here probably is what is that? So JSON document options being static instead. Also parse strings that UTF-8. No. Oh, this is just renaming the name of the property to express the fact that this string should be UTF-8 bytes. This one being the weight, async weight, and also not creating a memory stream, but just asking to parse the file directly. Using the one that essentially instead of creating a reader, pass it to JSON document parse directly. Removing the weight. Same thing here, not calling get bytes again and again on the same string, but just calling it once in the static property. This way, it's just one byte array collection. This is the one, and same thing here. Bytes creating a new array. and this one getting the error backed by God. So that's it. Simplify ShapeDescriptorIndex from Mike. So initializing the things here in the static properties and also reducing some allocations with all these two lists. And I believe also simplifying the loops. Made a benchmark, it proved that it was better. So it was merged. Use FrozenDictionaries in ShapeTables. The initial goal being that where is it here? So what I found is that when we build the list of extensions, which we do only once for the whole app, we created a dictionary, but then we can just create a frozen dictionary, which means you can't update the dictionary, which we don't do, but the lookups will be much faster. So it's optimizing the tree to make faster lookups. So we used frozen dictionary here instead. A bunch of changes on the other dictionaries and types that are returned. It. And boom, this one. Some improvements of building command shapes from Mike. What I did, I believe, is let's find it. Interesting, nothing interesting, nothing interesting, nothing interesting. This was reverted, nothing interesting and reverted. So skip Fontawesome update, 3280 update, and we got a report responding that it broke sub 1 because this version of Fluid is updating its dependencies. So if you were using some of the dependencies from Fluid without knowing, then it might break you. So it's bumping the versions. But it means you should have referenced those libraries yourself instead of depending on Fluid to reference it. So it should not be an issue. Upgrade Jint. See private and internal types from Marco. This is only chapters related things. Microsoft Entra ID authentication with multi-tenancy. For those who don't know, Entra ID is the new Azure. What's the name? What's your name? Azure Activator. Azure AD authentication. What was that? What was the name for that? Microsoft authentication. Yeah.
It fixes multi-tenant authentication for.
Yeah, but what was the name of Microsoft Entra ID before it was named?
Azure Active Directory.
Okay, thank you. George made it. Yeah, you don't understand anything about APR, so I let people deal with it. There is documentation, there is code fix, so that's good. Fix content drivers, this is the revert of the previous thing. Fix content picture picker, same, nope. Wrong check. I don't know. Nope. Add extensions to register conditions in main. I don't like this extension method. So let's see what is new here. So these are custom conditions. Add rule. Okay, so this is to prevent two calls from scoped and condition, and you say now add rule by the condition and everything required. Okay. writer method for rules. Remove redirect to index after update. Nope. Why would you do that? Bad. That's bad. Let's look at it, because that's a very common pattern that we should be aware of. So pull request. Fixes. So what's the bug? First, to understand updating custom settings. When there is a change saved, there is a redirect to edit page perform earlier that update. Then updating setting is saved to DB and cache is updated. Go to custom settings page, item settings save, page is reloaded. Page does not contain the valid setting. So it's cached file. Sure. But then so the problem I see here is that when we have an action that is a post, because you clicked on the button, it will submit the form. And then we just render the view. The issue with that is if you do F5, it will resubmit the form. That's why posts should always return a redirect, such that you are the response you receive from the post is a redirect command, and then your browser will do a get on this action. So after that, if you do an F5, it will just redo the get and not redo the post. And that's why usually when you have like credit cards forms to pay something, you click submit and they tell you don't refresh that, because if you refresh that, you will submit again the payment. Okay, so wait for the page to be done and then redirect, and then you can do F5 to refresh the page. Talk to you in the form post. So I'm not sure that's the good way to fix it. If we don't see the new data, it's because something is cached and should be invalidating. So the index should show the correct data and not the old data. I will comment there. Submission. Submit. What's the English word? This one. Okay. Let's see. Update this one. Several of improvements on shape processing. This one's not used. This one is because even if cache options was disabled, we will still do lots of things to serialize the state of the shape that it has not to be cached. So now it's checking that before. This one is such that we don't look for this thing every time during a request. We can just check it once. this one. Something here. Nothing interesting there. This is just reformatting to remove the async await. This one is to have a cache of all the arrays that we use to look for the alternates. So when we have alternates like foo underscore bar and foo underscore bars, we are looking for foo bar bars, foo bar, and foo. And to do that, we create an array of these items every time. So now it's caching it. If you say, let me find all the alternates for foo bar bars, it will reuse the same array again and again. This is to prevent multiple calls to add CSS class, because we saw in the traces that this was every time you call add CSS class, it will do first a new string appending a space and then a new string appending a CSS class. So now we are just doing one join that will be optimized and do one string and assign. This one is to make the proxies instantiation faster by caching the generated proxy type. There is a benchmark that was created that shows the difference. This is when a new instance is created. This is the best case, 9 nanoseconds and 88 bytes. Then the old way of creating a dynamic proxy, which was taking 700 nanoseconds and 2 kilobytes. And the new way of cached dynamic proxy, it's like 3 times less and 3 times less. And I find an issue to explain how we could be even faster, have even faster dynamic proxies by being as fast as that using source code generation. So instead of using dynamic proxies, we could just create our proxy at build time, and then we just need to create a new instance. And let me explain to you what it means. It means that, let me show you the code. Shape factory, all code. Oh, I can do that in Visual Studio. Super. So the shape factory is when you call create shape with a type, we want a strongly typed shape. So we want something that implements iShape. So it has items, properties, so subshapes, attributes, CSS class, alternates, shape metadata, all these things. But you want it to be a strongly typed shape based on your own content or own class. So for instance, it could be a menu item. You want a menu item shape, you have a menu item class, you want this class to be a shape. But menu item doesn't implement iShape. So what we do is that we create a dynamic proxy. What it means is we create a class called menu item proxy dynamically. So at runtime, we'll take the class menu item. It will look at all the properties of menu items. It will actually create a new class that inherits from menu item. Maybe not. Yes, it will inherit from menu. That really? No, it won't. It won't. It won't. It will create a new class menu item proxy that will have all the same properties as menu item. So it will copy all the properties of menu item. And what it will also do is create this class implementing iShape and also implement iShape. And to do that, we say create a new proxy generation, create a proxy for menu item, but we give it a mixing instance. We give it new ShapeViewModel. And this class ShapeViewModel is something that implements iShape and has the implementation for iShape that we want. So what we are seeing is merge ShapeViewModel and menu item and create a class that is based on that. Not only that, but what it will do is it will implement iShape and every method from iShape, like, let's see, like position. So when we have the string position, what it will do is generate this code. It will do shape, view, model, dot position. So it will implement iShape and just invoke the dot position of the instance of the shape view model that we passed in. Okay. That's why the options are used here. It will create an instance there. Yeah, so that's what the dynamic shape is. And this thing here, creating this class is expensive. That's why we cache the type, but also instantiating this thing because somehow the thing it does with the interceptors, because with the dynamic proxy, you can intercept every code. So it's more than just this code, okay? It's more complex. So instead of doing that, now that we are using .NET 8, we could just use source generator such that anytime this method create async T-model is called, like menu item in this case, every time this method is called, we could detect that and say, oh, you will want to generate a dynamic proxy for menu item at some point. So let's create a class for menu item that we call menu item proxy that implements iShape and generate the whole thing like we do in shape model, generate the class. And then this call can then be substituted or not. And this call could instead look for the generated type, which will be described in the dictionary generated by this code. And then just invoke the constructor on this one or a factory method on this. And this will be much faster because it will use source generation. So instead of doing dynamic source code generation, we will do static source code generation at build. So that's an initial file. Just if someone wants to work on that, that will improve the perf on this thing. And we could also remove castle proxy depends. So that was it here. Fixing some state-related stuff. Optimizing some calls for the resolve engine using the string writer instead of a string writer. So this is not allocating. Then the time implement local storage emulator support for Amazon S3. So when using S3, you can say that you want to use the emulator. Good. Do we have support for the Azure storage emulator? It's running. Oh, that's my branch. The main admissing string comparison type to equal comparison. So that's Marco applying all the suggestions from your analyzers using string comparison ordinal every time they call full. And Trumbowyg 228. That's it. So demo time from George.
All right, it's very short, but I hope. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I had the need to secure some media files within the media library, and therefore I added a new feature for securing just who can see media files. So it's view permissions only. And it's done by adding a custom middleware, which returns 404 if no permission is granted. So just to show you, I will just add a new tenant quickly. Add demo, make it a block. Equal, blah, blah. 1 second. Set it up. Need an admin. Okay, so the new feature is disabled, of course, by default. It's separated, and on the new tenant. So this just makes the media library to have view permissions, and it reuses all the permission UI we already have. So nothing changes within the media library here. If I enable it, search for media, it's called secure media. If you enable it, it keeps everything the same, but it adds new permissions to the roles. So, for example, in the anonymous role, you now have down here somewhere the new permissions. By default, everyone can see everything, so nothing changes if you enable the feature. It's currently only using in the root folder and for the first folder level, so you can only have one tier of secured folders. And additionally, it adds permissions for user media, and yeah, that's it. And for the attached media field, it also secures the files with the same permissions as the content item. So, as said, by default, Anonymous has the view media content in all folders granted, so nothing changes. If you want to have permissions applied, you need to disable this. Just keep this for a second. Oh. So if I go to the media library and, for example, add some new folders, for example, secure folder, you can now also edit this. Let's say you want to have only authenticated users access the secure folder. You can just select this here in the same way as for content types. Any folder in the first level will get added here. So just let me enable it for the authenticated role and remove the view all from anonymous. Otherwise, it will override it. Yeah. There's also a special one for the root folder. So if in the block recipe, we have some media in the root folder. So for example, if you still want this to work, you have to enable view media content in the root folder here. So, and with this, you can now have separated files, for example, in the root folder and in the secure folder. Let me just show you this by adding a new user. Let's call it test. Password. Make this, for example, an author. So the current user I'm logged in with is an administrator, so he can see everything. So he can still see the secure folder, even if even if I had used a different role here. I guess I used the authenticated role, so it's still the same for administrator. Doesn't matter. If I know you can't see the second window, right? If I add in.
Nope.
Okay, so I switch to a private window. Also, wait. Just to show you, you can still see the block as before because the anonymous role has a view permission for the root folder. And if I go to the admin with the tester, it's only the library here. You can only see the secure folder. If I add another folder on the administrator account, you can't see that anymore. I should share my whole screen. Wait. 1 second. How can I share the whole screen? Come on. I had to stop sharing. Now it's better. So, sorry for the confusion. So if I add a second folder here from the admin, from the administrator, the other one can't see that anymore. It's only the secure folder which is allowed. That's basically all. Just some adjustments. The users folder here is still visible for all users, but only the own folders here, it's a special one per user, is now visible by default. This is kind of the same way done as the manage permissions. This one here. There is these view own media and view other media content. Also, it's the same as the manage permissions, but with the management, we always had this issue that once you assign any manage permission, you can see everything in the media library, and this view permission will change that too. So only you can now only see what you can manage. Yeah, that's basically everything.
So there is one special folder named secure.
No, this is a normal folder I created. It's every folder appears here in the.
Okay.
This is the second folder I created. This is the first one I can create.
The formatting should be different to show that it's a value, not part of the sentence. True. View media content in secure. View media content in second folder.
Yeah.
So there should be like quotes around or formatting
or something.
Or folder named secure, folder named second folder.
True.
Okay. And then you define which roles can see which things from there. And that's kind of clever. And it applies the permission in the admin and in the front end using
right. I can show you if you, for example, in the secure folder, if I upload something, you can view it. And as soon as you log out, it's not found anymore.
And do I get a German error message also, or is it maybe
simply a 4.4?
Making jokes and nobody reacts. So sad.
Sorry, what?
I said, do I get the German error message also, or is it English?
It's just returning 4.4, no error message at all. So it's
it was German. I saw it was German. Don't say that.
Oh, this one. This is from the browser, I guess.
Yeah. Is it German? I don't even know. No, maybe it's,
it is.
No,
it is
Dutch. Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Nice.
The only thing I did not show you yet is if you have a content type with an attached media field, it also allows you to reuse the view permission of the content item.
What about making it a different sections in this page instead of using the current secure media, because now it's mixed between the general permissions and the custom feature. I don't know, something to discuss.
The permission screen is very awful, I guess.
No, it's very good. There is even a search. So if you know the
but it's too much. It's so many permissions here for every content type.
That's great.
It gets very messy.
That's great. And but yeah, instead of using the current section, I will create just another section. It won't be much worse. It's just it will be obvious that this is for each dynamic folder instead of each. I don't know. Maybe this is not something we do for the other things, like for the content types.
I know. That's one reason why I only allowed to secure the first level of folders, because otherwise it gets too many, in my point of view. There's actually a question from Zoltan in the comments of one issue somewhere, because he wanted me to add subfolder permissions too.
If you start subfolder, then what's happening if you have permissions on the top folder, the sublevel,
the third level? That's my problem. I don't want to have this complexity to allow all inheritance and something like this. It's very complex, and I think we don't have to mirror what's possible in the file system also.
Yeah, then you need the custom screen to show the grays, the applied and not applied. Yeah, that would be.
We have this effective permission here, which is already kind of possible to inherit permissions, but it's
even more that nurtured is all additive. So when you have granted the permission, you don't ungrant it.
Yeah, you can't deny something.
Yeah, and which is great. You have nothing, but you can add permission. So that's why there we can use the effective thing.
Yeah,
that's great. Okay, good job.
Thank you. One more question I should bring up from Zoltan is about ordering middlewares in startups. I don't know if we want to discuss this here or.
Yeah, if you have a question, we can talk about it. You're taking time from Victoria, though, so
no,
careful. It makes me sad because I'm sure Victoria is still in the meeting just to talk about something that will be short, and we are just pushing.
Yeah, then we can skip this. It's if you.
Or you can let Victoria talk, and then we can come back to your question if you want.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, George, for the demo. Victoria,
you're welcome.
I just realized that maybe we should ask you to talk first, and then if you don't want to stay in the meeting, you can leave.
Thank you. So thank you. Thank you for the word. I just wanted to mention that there is a possibility to sponsor the Orchard Harvest conference, and we are currently in the planning stage, and we would be really open if you would like to sponsor our event, and if you are interested, you can contact us also on the orchardharvest@lombiq.com email address, or you can also write on the GitHub channel, and I would contact you. I just wanted to mention this for those who are listening to the weekly meeting.
Okay, thank you. And I think there is a new email for
Yeah.
contacting Orchard, whatever. No?
I
Antoine.
think,
I think there is a new contact@Orchard project. Orchardcore.net. What is the email address?
contact@orchardcore.net.
Thank you. So contact@orchardcore.net, and the Lombiq crew gets the email. So even if they send it to that, then I'm sure you will get it, Victoria.
okay.
If you are not already in the email address, but you will be probably. So Zoltan has been setting this up, maybe probably with Antoine also. But contact@orchardcore.net. I wrote it in my quick notes. It's very new, so maybe that's why I just received a bunch of emails, people testing this contact address, and I'm like, what is that? And I assume Antoine and Zoltan have been working on that, so that's great. So orchardharvest@lombiq.com or contact@orchardcore.net.
Yes, thank you. That's it from me for this week.
And we'll do a GoFundMe, crowdsourcing, fund, whatever, so we can get sponsorship money. Larem is rich, he will send us all his money to do the conference.
Victoria, can I ask a question though?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have the dates, at least tentative dates pinned down? Is that confirmed already?
Yes, it's also on the web page. It's the 12th and the 13th of September.
Oh, it's the 12th and 13th, right?
12,
Yes.
13, yeah. Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
Okay. And then, but in the web page, I just look at now. There's no rough estimate of the cost. Is there?
2,000.
No. As I mentioned last week, we are planning the budget, and also this is why we are looking for sponsors as well. So we can make the tickets as affordable as possible.
Right. And then last question, Victoria, do we have a tentative location where in Las Vegas? Do we have that now or none yet?
Yeah, we have a venue that we are in contact. We were also in contact last week. We haven't announced the location because the contract is not signed, but I hope that it will be in really soon.
So it's not official, but it's a tentative location. And do you have the address approximately, just to have an idea where it will be?
I don't know the location.
Or the name, if we can Google it.
Yeah, it's called Beacon Center.
What? Beacon Center?
Yes, Las Vegas.
Beacon Center. Not in Tacoma, but in Las Vegas. Where is Las Vegas? That's the thing here. Oh, that's close to the center. Okay. Good. Just to get an idea.
Yes, and also last year Mike confirmed that it's in a good location.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Victoria. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure Victoria just joins the meetings to get congratulated by Larem every week. That's part of the reason you join us.
Yeah, it's really good for my status.
Always enthusiastic, Lauren. Whatever we do, and I also for myself, I'm saying that, like, oh, thank you very much, everyone. Like, always thanking everyone. We need more Laurens in this meeting.
Thank you.
You see? Say whatever you want. Okay. George, do we go back to you with your question?
Sure. It's about ordering the startups, and the middleware for my permission module needs to go after authentication and I think after authorization and before any static file middleware added by the media module. And that's why I created some workaround. I can show you very quickly.
I don't like workaround.
Yeah, me neither, but but software is full of it.
Where do we have static file options, use static files, middleware. So the only way, so today, when you want to order something,
it has to go before the resolver middleware and before the image-sharp middleware. But I think it has to go after the middleware added by the users module, which is the authorization middleware. Authentication is solved with a very recent PR, which ordered it differently, much higher in the stack. It has now an order of minus 150 or something, and that makes using the order in the startup of my feature actually work, but it would also execute the middleware before the authorization middleware. I don't know if that's critical because it's doing authorization on its own.
What is the authorization middleware? What is that kind of thing?
For the default policies being applied in views and everything, or the ASP.NET authorization middleware.
There is such a thing as authorization.
If you call use authorization in any ASP.NET app, that's done by Orchard in the users module.
I found it.
Yes.
Use authorization. And
this supports the policy authorization stuff in ASP.NET. And this is actually not used by my permission module, but if anyone uses some kind of policy in the startup, I have no idea what's possible there. It would be executed after my own middleware.
But you don't care about it. And what you want is, don't you want to run before the static file middleware?
Yes, that's critical. That's
so
let me show you my window, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's see. Is it too small?
Yes, but now it's better.
Now it's better. Okay, I have this feature startup, of course. There's no order at the moment. And there is the startup of the media module, the main media module, which you already saw before. Here's the first middleware of the media module, and I added this workaround. Because this way, the secure media middleware gets executed before use static, use image-sharp, use caching, everything else. But after the users module. Sorry, what?
Why not depend on the media module, the media feature. If your feature depends on the media feature, then it will
does.
be.
It does. Then it will get added after the media module, which is correct. But it must be before.
If it depends on it,
I could add an order, configure order or something of something like -1, for example. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, this ordering will also affect any other module. It will get added before any other module which has an order of 0 by default. And then, because the users module has also an order of 0, it gets added before use authorization. The startup order is only global for everyone. It may work without any problem, but I'm not sure if use authorization is used by someone who is critical for this stuff.
Yeah, we find an issue with your description, and we might need to provide more APIs so that, like, maybe be able in the configuration to say use middleware, but also pass some other features that you need to be defined before or after.
Yes, in the long run, this might be right, but for now.
Or maybe this feature should be part of the module.
It is already in the same module, so in the same assembly, but
and that's why
it's a separate feature only.
Feature, yeah.
So it's not something which messes up dependencies or something like that. But
yeah, that's
it's
weird,
not the
because
best. Not the best solution.
I believe the dependency. So you say it's dependent, but I don't agree. Like when I see your server secure media startup, I don't see any dependency here.
Oh, it's defined in the manifest.
Okay, so maybe we could have and this is not sufficient to order the media. I have to check. So maybe to order the media.
It orders it after media. It's ordered
because
correctly.
Of that?
Yeah, because of that. It's ordered correctly, but it has to go before, so that's a problem.
Oh, I see. So maybe we need another metadata to just say
before this one, yeah.
But not here, not in this file, but go back in the code with your startup class. You know, we have an attribute called require feature, or something that will say, only if the other feature is enabled, I'm doing something. Maybe we need yet another attribute to say, this startup needs to be registered before this other one for the middleware at least. So we could describe it this way. Like, yes, I know there is a dependency, but I need to be called before.
Right.
Something. So maybe that's something we need to do.
That is not something that is not possible yet. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Because the dependencies will say, oh, you run after because you depend on it, but we should be able to say, no, I depend on it, but the middleware should run before.
Yeah. I could change the order of the main media module. So I can say configure order 1, and it's ordered correctly. But this changes the order of static files for everyone, for everything, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, we just need to
I'm sure that will break something.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's it.
That was the question I should bring up here from Zoltan.
Good.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone. sharp on time. Thanks for the demos. Thanks for everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lauren. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.